What's up, guys? I'm Ben, and for my English 15 video narrative project, I'm going to be telling you about the time when I got into a really big argument with my roommate. So, it was about like 1 a.m. on a Sunday morning. We were just downtown trying to get into a party, but that didn't happen because they wouldn't let us in. So, we came back to our room, we were both kind of like pissed off. I was like chilling in bed on my phone. He was chilling in bed playing Fortnite. He played for like 5 minutes, and then he put the controller down. So then I kind of wanted to play Fortnite, and I asked him to give me the controller, and he kind of ignored me. He didn't move at all. He just stayed on his phone. He acted like he didn't hear me. I was like, what's good with this kid? I kind of figured that he didn't really hear me the first time, so then I was like, bro! He finally put down his phone, and he looked at me, and he asked what I wanted, and I told him to give me the controller. When I asked him for the controller, this kid looks at the controller on his lap. He tells me to get up and come and get it. He goes back on his phone and he doesn't move at all. At this point, I was thinking to myself, there's no fucking way I'm gonna get off my bed and grab the controller off of his lap. I told this kid to stop being an asshole and to just toss the controller over. This kid refuses to toss it over because I have brick hands and it's his controller, and he doesn't want me dropping it on the floor and breaking it. I definitely was not in the mood to get into an argument with this kid. So I got up off my bed, I went over to his side of the room, got the controller, and on the way back to my side, I adjusted the TV just so I can see it a little better from my side of the bed. For some reason, he had a problem with that. He asked me why I had to move the TV, and I just told him that I needed to see the TV a little better. He told me to adjust the TV again, and I told him that I couldn't, because I just started the game and I was literally in free fall about to land on a house, and there was someone else also about to land on that house, and it was about to be an intense battle to see who would die first. As my opponent and I are finally about to land on the house, my roommate gets up off his bed, he goes to the fridge, he gets something to eat, and on the way back to his bed, he adjusts the TV all the way in his direction so that I can't see it at all. I could feel feelings of tension and anger and shock. It's just like building up inside of me. I told my roommate to quickly fix the TV because my opponent and I just landed at the house and I needed to get a gun before he got a gun because otherwise I would die. This kid, still sitting on his bed watching me play, tells me that I have to get up and fix the TV. I realized that I didn't really have time to adjust the TV completely so I can see it. So I run over to his side of the room and lean on his bed so that I can see the TV real quick. When I do that, this kid kicks me in the kidney with such a force that it pushes me all the way back to my side of the room, and now I'm lying down on my bed again. I thought to myself that there's no way that I was about to take this level of disrespect from a little punk ass like him. I got up off my bed and I ran over to his side and I jumped and I body slammed right on top of him and I continued to play the game. This kid then tries to get up and pushes me really violently back to my side of the room. At this point, I was just kind of like done with fighting and I just wanted to play the game. Then I got up and I walked over to his side of the room just so I could see the TV for a little bit. But it was too late. My opponent already had a gun and I didn't. He found me and he shot me and I died. I was so mad at my roommate. I had to ask him why he had to be such a dick and why he had to move the TV. And he told me that if I never moved the TV in the first place, we wouldn't have had this problem. I was not in the mood to get into an argument with my roommate, and I was not in the mood to play Fortnite any longer. So I just told him that we're gonna watch Rick and Morty, and he's like, that's cool. So I threw on an episode of Rick and Morty, but in the back of my mind, I was thinking, I really wanted to give this kid kind of a taste of his own medicine. So as the episode started, I picked up the TV from off the fridge, I walked over to my side of the bed, and I placed the TV on my lap so that only I could see it in this close area and he couldn't see the TV at all. This made my roommate laugh a little bit. He kind of chuckled it off and then he told me to put the TV back. But I ignored him. I wanted to ignore him for a few more seconds just so I could see what he would do. After I ignore him, he starts recording me on Snapchat. And I still don't look up from my TV, but I can still see him recording me on Snapchat because I still see him with his phone out. I continue to ignore him as he's recording me on Snapchat because I thought that I wouldn't care who he sent the video to or what he's going to do with that Snapchat. He told me that if I didn't put the TV back, he was just gonna send it to everyone on his Snapchat list. Then I felt my phone vibrate in my pocket. I took out my phone and it's a video of me just sitting there with the TV in my lap. I was like, "You're kidding, bro. There's no way he sent it to everyone. Like, you didn't do that." He tosses me his phone and I look at it and he sent it to over 150 people. At this point, I was so mad at my roommate. I told him right away, I was like, "I'm not putting the TV back because you know what? First of all, this is my TV and I'm going to do what I want with it." He told me, "Alright, bet we're playing that game." He walks over to me and he just unplugs his Xbox from the TV and he says, "It's my Xbox, so I'm gonna do what I want with it." Then I started to get really mad at him. I asked him like, "Why is that to be so whack? Like, all I'm trying to do is just watch my show, and you gotta unplug the Xbox." I then put the TV back because I wasn't watching anything anymore because he unplugged it. And I just sat on my bed for like 10 minutes in silence. And my roommate did the same thing. We just chilled on our own sides of the room without talking to each other because it was just like really intense. After 10 minutes, my roommate finally broke the silence and he told me, "Look, bro, I think we're both being whack right now because we're both mad that we didn't get into the frat." I sat there for a few seconds and I was like, "Yeah, man, that's true. I mean, like, I'm not really that mad at you. I'm just mad that like we couldn't get in tonight because, this is the first time we had moves in a while, and it just didn't happen." He then told me he's sorry for moving the TV when I was playing Fortnite and unplugging the Xbox when I was watching Rick and Morty. I told him I was sorry for body slamming him while I was playing Fortnite and for moving the TV and putting it on my lap like an 8-year-old. We then both agreed that we're sorry and we love each other as bros like very much, and like we always got each other's backs in the end. Like no matter what happens, we'll always look out for each other.